With many different performance training models available in the field of sports performance, it is difficult to narrow down which one yields the greatest improvements on the field of play. A model I feel is most advantageous is the Optimal Performance Training Model, or the OPT model for short. The OPT model ensures athletes are capable of handling exercise stimuli prior to the execution of more advanced ones. By establishing movement foundations, athletes will be able to train at higher strength and power outputs with a less risk of injury occurrence. When clarification on all levels of an athlete's support staff is established, it creates a high-performance model. In James Smith's book, The Governing Dynamics of Coaching, he talks about teams having a high-performance staff and understanding player global loads. A successful high-performance staff creates connection between sport coaches, athletic trainers, strength coaches, and physical therapists, all of whom understand the overall goal in place and what steps are needed to reach that goal. To do this, they need to have an understanding of global loads placed on the athlete. The term global load simply indicates the total volume of stress placed on the athletes throughout all aspects of their life. For staffs to be able to manage global load effectively, they must constantly communicate to each other about the amount of work being done in each of their realms. This can be difficult when staff members are going off of different programming styles. The OPT model provides a training stimulus everyone can understand and incorporate efficiently. Workload will be reduced, creating a less likely occurrence of stress on the body and reducing the risk of injury. The goal for properly trained athletes is to prepare them for the stimulus to come in games. This is a step-by-step process that should increase performance and reduce the risk of injury. The OPT model has a step-by-step process to achieve those goals, and it starts with stabilization. Stabilization movements have a very high CNS and motor unit recruitment. These movements play a large role in developing and preventing injuries. In a journal study by doctors Claire Frank, Alina Kovesva, and Pavel Collar, they discuss the impact of dynamic neuromuscular stabilization of the body. They talk about CNS maturation and structural/anatomical development, how they go hand in hand during these types of training. As CNS gets recruited more, aka more motor unit recruitment, movement patterns are increased, muscular strength is increased, and stabilization increases. When muscle synchrony and coordination are developed, joints become more stable, posture gets put in a better position, making athletes more resilient to injury occurrence. Arguments made against the OPT model could be consistent with not knowing when to progress athletes from phase to phase, there isn't enough time to do each phase, and strength exercises are needed more than stabilization exercises. Yes, there's no timeline to when athletes can progress from phase to phase, but I feel that makes the OPT model better in my opinion. Athletes are completely individualized and adapt to stimuli at different rates. That's where the skill of coaching comes into play. We must be able to watch athletes perform on the field or in the weight room and figure out if their movement patterns are sufficient enough to move them on to more advanced ones. Timing of program is critical to how effective it will be. This model would be poor to incorporate with the team in season due to the stimuli needed to perform well would be quickness and power. Although this model would be perfect to implement at the team's start of an off-season, movement patterns and coordination can be established first, providing a good base for the athlete. Now progressions can be made to more strength movements. Once we build a sufficient enough base for that, we can move to power movements. The off-season provides plenty of time for that process to occur and the athlete to build a proper base before gaining too much strength. The OPT model is a great training system that can bring a team to the next level. Coaches will have a clear understanding of what is being done and why. Athletes will improve on the field and will become more resilient to injuries. The OPT model keeps athletes on the field for longer and in better shape.